You can start the prayers, Bala. It's almost done.
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः Yes, we are in the 9th canto.
Yes.
Looking at Ramayana. Place the sandals. We saw all this, is it? Vibhishana. No.
Wherever you stopped, I think it is there only, right?
Yeah, must be there. But did we see all this Ravana?
No, we didn't get here, I thought, no?
Don't remember.
It was there, no? Sugriva, he knows everything. No, that was not there. You have to go back.
He sent Nikumba, Kumba, all these we read. The Lord sent, Indra sent Rama Ravana, memorable duel. Yes, we did see this. Who were dead.
Memorable duel in which
Sita,
Ravana was
yeah.
killed by the Brahmastra sent by Rama.
Yeah. We saw all this. Maybe he hurried to Ayodhya, where from there we can start.
Yeah.
That's when you were talking about where Hanuman and Bharata embracing each other was there, right? In Nandigram.
Yeah.
I think that's where we stopped.
Yeah.
Ascetic. Yeah. So now Rama, along with Sita, Lakshmana, Sugriva, Hanuman, and Vibhishana, they all are hurrying to Ayodhya, where his beloved brother Bharata was waiting for him. This Bharata had donned the garb of an ascetic, refusing to wear the silks which were denied to his brother. He had matted his locks even as his brother had and slept on the floor. He was living in Nandigram. Yes, the other week, Arti was mentioning where that the place where Bharata was sleeping was under the ground. So that, because Rama would be sleeping on the ground, so he digs and goes under the ground and sleeps a level lower than where Rama would sleep. That kind of, bhava. It is all such a beautiful bhakti bhava. He had matted his locks even as his brother had and slept on the floor. He was living in Nandigrama on the outskirts of Ayodhya and he was ruling the kingdom in the name of Rama. He had placed the sandals of Rama on the throne as the insignia of the real ruler. When he heard that Rama was on his way, Bharata, placing the sandals on his head, rushed out of Nandigrama and met Rama and Lakshmana. He placed the sandals on the ground, and after falling at the feet of his brother, he stood with his eyes filled with tears. Rama embraced him, and together they stood while the Brahmins chanted hymns to welcome the ruler. Do we continue?
Yeah, I think this, yeah. But it's a beautiful part of the whole Ramayana. After the war and when they come back,
Yeah.
uh, a beautiful way of how relationships should be.
Mm. Mm.
Everybody is uh, everybody is showing their righteousness because they're all part of the Supreme.
All Amsha, everything, no? All the.
Yeah. So not just showing one part, not just Rama,
Mm.
as Bharata, as Lakshmana, how each one is performing their duties. And also the beauty of here, the mother of that is Sumitra.
Mm.
She never wanted her sons to fight. She said, "You, one of you be with Bharata, one of you be with Rama." In fact, when Bharata went, Shatrughna went with him to when he went to learn at Kaikeya. See, that is dharma. Dharma is not about possessing the child as mine. Knowing that this child has only come through me but does not belong to me. And looking at what is important for the larger welfare of the. It is like progeny, right? Even when Kardama, was it Kardama only? Kardama only. He didn't want to get married. But then he was convinced and he was told, progeny, it is, you are here as a Prajapati. You have to, progenate so that the Vamsa can continue. So there is a purpose for it. And the purpose of the life is fivefold. So that all the ancestors and everybody in that lineage can be in touch with that. So if one soul in this whole lineage of seven, what do we say, generations, is even one is enlightened, if one is liberated, everybody is liberated in the seven janmas. So that is one, that is Pitru Dharma. The other is Brahma Yajna, to live for, to be in unison with the divine at all point in time, work towards that. Manusha Dharma, Manusha Yajna. When we live as a Yajna is there is no expectation. So every person who is there, who has come into my life, who is there is as part of this life, is here for a reason. We are all on our own paths, being in touch with everybody, and all these people are like a design around us for what? Somehow they have come here. There is some kind of attachment, and this Janma we have been given that opportunity to find that balance, to move ahead and detach. And we still continue to be attached again and again. This samsara, this karma, this everything continues, but we have been given an opportunity. So we are all co-travelers in the bogie. Every person is here as per a design to help us progress, to help us break that. There is some obstacle, big obstacle on the way, as in the form of a attachment. and to be able to overcome that and continue to flow. So there is this beautiful shloka. 1 minute, I'll just bring in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. As Aarti is bringing, I remembered the top Bhagavad Gita shloka on Yajna. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Yeah. The karma that is done with no spirit of yajna, that will bandify, um, will create bondage, will make more bondage. Okay. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Tadartham. So, Kaunteya, Mukta Sangha Samachara, without any attachment. Mukta Sangha, be free from Sangha. Sangam is attaching to, that day it was a beautiful discussion in our Balviar class. So it was nice. What all attachments? And finally, it was such a beautiful discussion that children themselves came to the root. Oh, so the attachment all is about the thought that I am the doer. Yeah. So the what is attachment? Attachment is not anywhere else. The karma is going to continue. Only attaching to the thought that I am the doer has to be, we must be free from that, and one can be free from that only through jnana. Otherwise, okay, initially we can say and practice, but also know, also keep listening to the jnana and know and see that as the truth. So for that, in Swami's Vyasa Aushadam, very beautifully, the example that he gives is Vishwam Vishnu. The entire that we see, even in Bhagavatam we have that, right? The Lord's cosmic form, Virata Purusha. It is the form of the Lord. That is how the upasana is done. It is not to intellectually understand. The upasana is done. And that is how we see every moment in nature with absolute no doership. Trees don't have doership. Plants don't have doership. Leaves don't have doership. That's why they are in samadhi always. There is absolutely no disturbance. It totally in samadhi. It is within the net. They don't know that. We are given this intellect so that each of us can recognize that truth within, in whose presence all this is happening. So at the activity level, yajna comes when there is no trace of doership. So nature is the greatest teacher. Bhagavan is so compassionate that he has given us this and say, okay, this intellect constantly keeps saying, I am doing, because I'm identified as this body, right? There is no identification. I see this as a tree. I see this as a dog or bird, but the bird doesn't know it is a bird. So the tree doesn't know it is a tree. Things are just happening, just like how all the other activities which we don't claim ownership are happening. Just because this body which I see, the senses, I'm caught in the senses, sensory plane, and it's an illusory thought that some other thought that I am the body is doing it. So it is such an ignorant, actually even what we have understood is also ignorance. So more and more we contemplate on that, it comes to our realization that actually there is no separate doer at all. And a beautiful cosmic rhythm is happening. So he says, only through yajna, then we are already in dharma. When that yajna is there, we don't have to bother. Dharma is taken care by the Supreme Ishvara. So that is a beautiful thing. So Mukta Sangha is be detached to the thought that I am the doer. That is why we always say, let me be a pure instrument before we start any work. Arpana Buddhi as a practice, and more we are in that, remembering that a moment, that it is the inner one who through this hand is working, right? And that comes in Vishwarupa Darshan also, right? The with 1,000 legs and with 1,000 hands. So all is ours only. Just like how in the physical body, every cell doesn't have any. If it starts not being in the yajna spirit, that is when probably cancer comes. Who knows? These cancer cells,
Yeah.
they what do we say? They stop functioning. They stop their. They're not able to do their dharma. They stop functioning, being as that lung part. So maybe they are cancer. So we don't want to be cancer cells in the body of the Virata Purusha. So yeah, that came in because you brought about the yajna.
So beautiful. Even Tejasvi has said, Deepak Chopra's 7 spiritual laws of success mentions the same: earth rotating, flower, natural karma happening. It's all Lord's Leela. How is all this happening? When you start wondering about it, it is all such a beautiful Leela. And also, so then what happens is, what we think of every person, like I am a cell in this huge super organism, like that everybody in my life is a cell in the super organism, functioning as per the will of the divine.
Yeah.
That cell is not, so now one cell is not going to function according to the other cell. All of these cells are functioning according to the will of the divine, in which this cell is a part of. So then when you start looking at every single thing happening, every single person, and who have come together for a certain purpose, like what Bala said, like the heart, like the lungs, whatever. So then it's like, okay, this person is also functioning as per divine will. And the more and more I see this divinity around me, in all the people around me, the divine's will in all the people around me, there is a certain kind of humility that comes in. And all my thoughts of what about me? I am not understood. Why is this happening to me? All of this kind of dissolve when you know you're just being guided by this divine will. So whatever Bala told about this cancerous, this, that cell, yes. So then when we operate as a yajna, when we perform our actions as a yajna, we are basically surrendering to the will of the divine. The divine will flows through us without any obstacles. When it is not done as a yajna, we become, and I start feeling that I am the doer. Why did I do this? Why did I do guilt, regret? Maybe I should have done something else. Oh, I am so tensed. I am so, all these, I am not good enough. Or all these things, when I say, I am blocking that divine will to flow through me. I fail to be a nimitta in his hands, where it is just flowing through. So there is this shloka in chapter 2, verse 64. It says, Raga Dvesha Viyuktaistu Vishayan Indriyaicharan Atma Vashyair Vidheyatma Prasadham Adigachati. So once a sadhaka, a self-controlled sadhaka, Atma Vashyair Vidheyatma, one who has got that control over himself totally. Such a sadhaka can see the world and interact with the world. Vishayan Indriyaishcharan, he can, with his senses, he can observe, he can listen, he can do everything. Raga Dvesha Viyukta, without Raga Dvesha. He lives in the world, he's observing, he's doing everything with his senses, but is never getting attached to anything or anybody through likes or dislikes. prasadam adhigacchati, by considering everything as a prasada. Situation by situation. Considering everything as a prasada. That is happening. That is where we want to get.
Sthita Prajna Lakshana. Krishna is putting that in.
But we slip every time. Every time, most of the time.
But
Sometimes
we are also succeeding sometimes.
we are aware immediately that I slipped.
That is the
itself is a
thing.
success.
That is all.
That is the thing.
Uh,
First, maybe we were not even aware that we are slipping. But now at
And
least I
maybe
know
now there
mine.
are instances when we are not slipping and has become very natural also.
Yeah.
What
And
we
thank
may
God,
have slipped earlier, we are not slipping. Some things have reduced.
immediately I'm able to notice that I slipped.
Yeah.
That FIR is very, very fast.
Isn't it? Yep. We'll move on.
Yeah. See, that is also a very interesting, more than interesting, I should say, an important point. Yes, we slip, no doubt. And the more we are sensitive to that, we come back to the center. And like what Aarti was saying, the what do you say? Where we would have slipped, now we are not slipping so much that it has become a samskara that we are not even realizing it. See, that is what Swami calls it. That's the called the spontaneity. It has to be right now. That is why where the Vedanta says, right? Right now, I am this body is the spontaneous thing. That is the slip. Biggest slip is that. Okay. So that's still that fallen state only. So more and more and more when we this kind of listening and being in the satsanga and contemplating and meditating and all that, what happens is this gets corrected, and there comes a point where we know, oh, we are slipping prasad from that centeredness. Okay, but there comes a point that the center itself becomes so spontaneous. So for a realized being, for them, nobody has to come and tell them that you are actually an actor acting in this. Okay, they know clearly. That's what Ramana Bhagavan says in Ulladu Narpadu. The difference between the one who is in Yanam and the one who is not, the difference is he knows that, with all this, he is only an actor. An actor never slips into the role. But now, as of now, sometimes maybe we are aware of the actor, but sometimes we slip into the role. But the ideal thing is like the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, what Bhagavan says is, no, we are the actors. We are there, whatever actor or whatever, the real identity. And so that is a natural, that becomes natural. That becomes spontaneous. Like this, what do you say? Reflex actions. Yeah. Like the reflex actions, actually.
When my daughter was doing her dance, she had a dance performance in school. She had to become Janaka. She was performing the role of Janaka in that whole thing. And her teacher was telling her, Janaka was a Raja Rishi. So when she shows her, this is that in that court, that in that, Swayamvara, where Sita, but the suitors are coming to lift and they are not able to lift. So at that time, Janaka should show the disappointment, but he should show it like a Raja Rishi. He should not show it like all normal, regular, this thing, okay? She was like, Auntie is telling you should be looking outside, but actually looking inwards. What is she talking about? Okay. So, and then she was watching the Ramayana and all, because that is what we are, even when we are. So here, she is very clearly herself. and playing the role of that Sthita Prajna, right?
It is difficult
It
to
has to
act
be,
like
it
a
has to
Sthita
turn
Prajna.
around now. It has to become ulta. Huh?
Yeah, no, it is very difficult to act like Sthita Prajna.
Yeah, it's very difficult. She's showing her emotions, and he's a Raja Rishi. He can't be showing so much emotions. He has to be very subdued in the emotions. But on the
But
stage, it should also show. But it should be very composed. She was.
So even to understand this, we are understanding it at 50. She must
Yeah.
be in her 15 or 20s. Even to understand that is very difficult.
That is the beauty, in this art. It automatically she
yes,
gets these exposures,
Mm.
and
yeah,
they say, so even now, if you see the people who have played the role of Krishna and Rama, they just by playing that role and being that it is an automatic imbibing, you know
Transformation.
it is by just
keeps
by
coming.
playing that role. They say, no, even in this thing, Ramayana, Ravana comes to
Yeah,
deceive
in the
the
story.
army in the form of Rama,
Hmm.
Lord Rama. And then, even though he had come out of that Lord Rama, just being like Lord Rama for a while, for a while he was acting, he was being Rama only for some time. Just playing his role, just thinking and imbibing the characteristics of Lord Rama, trying to be like him, acting like him can bring out those beautiful qualities. We
There
just
is,
have to pretend that we are Rama.
yeah, there is one nice story which I think Ramana Bhagavan shares. Um, this is what I've heard. So, one person he comes to a very rich man's house to steal. Okay, so he collects everything, and as he was about to run away from that place, something falls, some sound comes, and people get up and they start shouting, thief, 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 to come run and catch him. Now he doesn't know what to do. He goes there to, he just runs, and then the whole village, because it was a rich man's house, also, many of them are just running to find where he is. And there he, sees one saffron color, cloth. Okay, the moment he sees that, what he does, he just leaves whatever he has um, robbed from that house, and he runs, takes that saffron robe, and there is a tree. He goes there, he drapes himself with that robe, and he sits as acting like he is in samadhi. Okay, he's only acting. So all of them come, they are looking for, they are saying, oh, he has dropped all the things here. Where is the thief? Where is the thief? They all are running, and this rich man is also there along. And then he notices that sadhu sitting there, acting sadhu sitting there in samadhi. So rich man has a lot of, regards for sadhus and all that. So he goes there, he prostrates, and then he says, it is so good. It is part of his bungalow garden. So he says, you've come to our place, please come inside, and you can, actually, we will give you all the facilities needed to sleep inside and all that, he says. So after 2 3 days, he continues to, he doesn't get carried away too much, he continues to stay under the tree only. And after 2 3 days, people start coming and, doing prostration, and they start coming and giving him food, all the three, and then all bhiksha, everything is just coming to him. Then he realizes, oh my God, just by acting like this, I had to run, 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 and, steal things for my own livelihood. But I just acted like this, and people are coming and giving me everything. What if I really become one? Even acting like this, I don't have to think too much. Things are just happening like this. Let me really become one. And then he starts wandering, and then he finds some other sadhu who gives him the upadesha. So he transforms into an ascetic. So Bhagwan says, just acting. That's what we are all trying, no? When we say, when that raga, dvesha vimukta indriya and vishayascha, of course, how do we act is guided. Yeah, we can, we know, we have to go through the scriptures to know. But then that is what we try initially. What is
So
that faith
even
in
to
the
act,
beginning?
you should have some basic knowledge
Yeah.
about, a little to
Yeah.
act, isn't it?
Some samskara must have been there
Must
even
be
for
there,
that
no?
thief, but like it is yes, just getting into that role itself brings a lot of
Yes. So we
it
just
does.
need to pretend.
Yeah. Fake it until you make
Fake it until you make it.
it. Even that Raghavendra, many years back, I don't know how many of you have watched it. It used to come in Doordarshan, I think. Okay, very beautifully taken. Kannada, Udaya, Kannada channel. Very a youngster, he played the role of Raghavendra. So he was telling in some later when he was asked to, he say, when that shooting was there, he even stopped eating. I like pani puri, chaat, and all that. But when that Raghavendra somehow, after he becomes the saint, he did it so beautifully. That whole role of being that Rayar. So he would say, he shared that, even I stopped eating pani puri. I couldn't bring myself to eat it because of that role I have to do, somehow that. So all some subtle such things I think happen